Speaking of catching opponents off guard, this walk-in caught me off guard, man. Both Doxer and Kel'Thuzad walking out onto the stage as if they have been working out. Their expressions show that they are stoic, that they are tired, but deep down their hearts are racing and I'm sure they are excited.
Exactly, but Grips, you forgot one important thing is that we need to also welcome the YouTube audience. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai with our styling partner Philips One Blade. Today's matchup is going to be between Lethal Esports and Aster Army to find out who's going to have that one single chance to make it in the top 3, as the standings rely heavily on the top 3, and you need to be in the top 3 to make it to the playoffs, and the playoffs will be a double elimination bracket. But that's a whole nother story. I was trying to explain to you guys the format, but if you do take a look at the player walk-ins, of course, these players are looking ready, but my eyes are especially going to be on Lethal Esports. They have been struggling a lot. They have been struggling a lot recently, and hopefully that struggle is being cut out. Imagine, Crips, okay? Lethal Esports all this time, they weren't able to do anything, but today we just see a complete new face of them where they're just dominating the entire matchup.
I hope we get to see this new face of them, you know. I'm seeing Marzel's new face. I haven't seen this guy wearing spectacles, but then he comes out rocking those glasses out today. So at least he has a new face. Let's hope the rest of his team does too. I kind of like the banter that Bink did over there. The moment he walked out, he held up the 2-0 symbol. Let's just hope that it's his team on the 2 marker. Speaking of 2-0, both these teams have lost 2 matches in this league each. So not only is it very important for them to win today's game, they also kind of need to prey on the fact that MLT Esports will lose their game on Sunday against Reckoning if these guys want a chance to get inside the top 3. Currently, Aster Army is at number 4, Lethal's at number 5, and since both these teams don't have a win in the bag, one of them will definitely get something today. One of them will definitely get a win on board, but the question still remains, is that win gonna be enough?
Oh, let's move on towards the map veto, ladies and gentlemen, and we're about to find out what maps we're going to be seeing these 2 teams duke it out. And oh, Aster Army's going to go for a Fracture ban, then instantly Lethal Esports is going to be following it up with a Haven ban. That's an interesting one. We haven't seen that throughout this entire VCSA, and finally we're seeing that Haven being banned as well. But then Aster Army is going for that Ascent lock-in, in which Lethal Esports will be going with the defense. I want to see which is the second map. And oh, Lethal Esports is going for Pearl. Considering Lethal Esports heavily rely on their mechanics, I feel like on the map of Pearl, B-side has to be the way to go on the attacking side for Lethal Esports.
Well, I hope that they were able to do something out of this one, you know, because in the past, whenever Lethal Esports have played on Pearl, they don't have an impressive track record. Of course, I'm starting to delve into their history in October and August of the previous year when they were struggling against teams like GE and Enigma. But in the recent past, they have lost Pearl against Reckoning Esports, and that is a little bit of a concern. So if they consider Pearl to be one of their strengths, I hope they know what they're doing. Because you can't really call Ascent as your strength. No one team can lay claim on this map.
Here we go. The game's about to be starting soon enough, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat is really just waiting for both these teams to battle it out on that map once again, as we do move on over towards the Agent Select to find out how it's going to be looking like. And from the Aster Army side, we haven't seen anything locked up just yet. I'm pretty much going to expect the basic Agent Select that's being played on the map of Ascent. But Marzel's going for KO this time, a double initiator. That means Lethal Esports is going to have a lot of information that they can rely on.
It's also interesting how they switched up the roles. Usually you see Rossi on the Killjoy and Kel'Thuzad on the Jet, but now they've exchanged these roles. So that should bring about something interesting from Lethal Esports. Hopefully that's the key that they need to win. For Aster Army, everything's normal, right? We've seen this lineup from them before. It's a middle lineup for both these teams, but then again it's Ascent, so you can't expect too many surprises. Let's see who gets this map under the bag.
Huge question that everyone's waiting for. Who will be able to take this map and kick things off in a great way inside the series as we head inside the map of Ascent? Aster Army versus Lethal Esports. Lethal Esports on the defense, Aster on the attack. The game's about to start soon, and as you brought up, a huge change in the pace are inside the entire Asian select, and Lethal Esports, Kel'Thuzad is no longer playing the duelist role. Rossi is going to be the one to take it over, and it's completely fine. We've seen those heroic plays even from the side of Rossi, and as I said, he's one of those players that likes to take those aggressive peaks, so it makes a lot of sense too. Rossi is a man who's made the anchor down the site.
That's a nice little recon dart. You don't see that one coming. Bounces it off the defender's spawn and brings it. Now the shock dart. Kohli was hoping that he should be able to get a couple of AoE damage done, but nah, that's not gonna happen. Instant pick for Lethal Esports, and they continue pouring in. They go all the way towards B-Link and try to sandwich Aster Army, but they've already reached the B side and planted by going via market.
Oh, this lurk might just catch him off guard, but knows going to be the answer because Marzil's waiting for that. Lethal Esports so far, they've got the man advantage in a huge number. It's a 2-on-5 scenario. Looks next to impossible to convert, but that's a nice shot from Dominic. He tried to fight back, but unfortunately, there's too many defenders in front of him just standing to gun him down. And Lethal Esports, they start off with a nice pistol round in their hand.
This is quite nice from both these teams. I like it. Both the teams being proactive. Lethal Esports with a very aggressive push towards B main right off the bat. And in response, Aster Army push out towards mid-market and take the B site. Now, it's almost like these teams are playing ring around the rosies with each other, right? Around that whole mid-market and the B region. They just circle each other. Retake successful for Lethal Esports because Aster Army had no semblance of a B main control, and they weren't able to get into the post-spawn positions quickly enough. Good start for Lethal, but Aster will put up a force spy. Can Lethal continue the momentum, or will it be stolen away?
Of course, a buy round from the side of Lethal Esports, but still a force spy is just catching him off guard. The opening's being found. What an aggressive way to start things off. The stinger right on the face, and now Lucia, of course, is the man near the short. Even he's taking a lot of damage there.
Nice.
Marshall is not really making a lot of work, but finally Rossi manages to connect that headshot. Dominic shut down. The controller's no longer inside the game anymore, but Aster Army's already got the site under control. So that's a good news for them. Kohli as well now is just taken down way too low. The shock darts are there to try and stop Lethal Esports in their tracks. But this force buy so far is working out so well from the side of Aster Army. But in the end, the trades are just happening back and forth in the favor of Lethal Esports. Doxer, the last man left alive, but he's got some nano swarms available to try and defuse, or at least to try and delay the defuse for as long as possible.
Oh, they're sticking it. He's not able to connect the shots. Lethal Esports do get the defuse. Cool Lucia dies as soon as the spike gets defused, so at least he did his job, and he did it all the way to his grave. A good start for Lethal Esports. They stop the momentum of Aster Army in their tracks. This will force them to go for another eco and give Lethal Esports a chance to get all the way to 4-0.
That was a nice shot with the Marshall.
Yeah, quite nice. I was unfortunately a little taken aback by the way they treated Marzel like that. Instant paranoia and flashes to deal with him, so he couldn't do anything over there, but hey, at least the other Omen was dealt with.
Speaking about that, Lethal Esports, once again, it did seem like their entire bonus round, so-called, has been destroyed, considering Aster Army was able to put up some nice numbers. And now the flash peek as well comes through. Kel'Thuzad gets caught off guard. The sheriffs from Aster Army are really just answering back in a nice way. And now Shivy will need to fall back and try and play things a little slow. Every single player from Lethal Esports is just taking that aggression against aggression. Fire to fire is the answer from them. And Aster Army, they're now left with a 4-on-3 situation. 3 players on the side of Lethal Esports are still up and alive, in which 2 of them have got Spectres in the hands. Lethal Esports, interesting stuff being showed. Look at Marzel, he's pushed up so deep all the way in A main, just wanting to catch someone off guard. But Aster Army, they seem quite aware of this fact. The sheriffs are definitely going to be hurting if you miss your shots and not able to capitalize. But this time, Marzel's classic is able to answer back. Marzel with a 3K stops the entire push on A main. And now a week to go, the last man left alive with a sheriff in the hand with only 47 HP to back him up. Nothing can be pulled off here. Shivy puts the final nail in the coffin in that round as well. Lethal Esports, another round in their hands. Marzel having smiles on his face. And Aster Army really starting to struggle now. They're not able to get these rounds in the hand. Of course, now you're going to be seeing that desperation kick in as well. But if I'm not wrong, Aster Army should have enough money to go for a buy in the upcoming round. This is where Lethal Esports will need to try and play to their fullest potential. So far, it's been aggression on both the sides. At least Aster Army is trying to bring a little change on the sides, trying to fiddle with Lethal Esports' mind. But the aggression from Lethal Esports is on the point. Once again, Rossi pushing up on B main. He's able to get rid of the turret, but Aster Army, they're waiting for this aggression. They're sort of ready. Wink pushing up quite deep. Lethal Esports, 3 players available on the B site. So at least for now, it seems like it's quite locked down. That's a nice flash and peek from Rossi. Finally, we're seeing those glimmers of teamwork. Flash is being utilized pretty well. And Lethal Esports, they're relying or playing off of those flashes. No dry peaks anymore. At least inside the buy round, that's what it seems like. And now Wink moving in slowly and steadily inside the mid. They've got the market's control. Lethal Esports, on the other hand, it's one of those aggressive teams. You can never expect them to fall back. They will fight for that site control if you're going to try to take it away from their hands. And Lethal Esports moving in slowly and steadily. Street control now being given away too, considering Lucius the man who's been lost so far. And now the man advantage is converted in the hands of Aster Army. Lethal Esports. Oh, Shivy, you cannot move away just like that. The aggression now is starting to work against them. And Lethal Esports, they need to try and find a way to play this thing a little safer. Really just pushing limits without even checking the corners. And once again, they do the same thing. Lethal Esports, that's one of the rookie mistakes.
10 seconds left. Spike
Oh,
planted.
not checking that corner is something you do not expect from players that are such skilled. And Aster Army, this time, they close out the round. Finally, the first round on the board for the side of Aster Army. Interesting approach from both the team, of course, but Lethal Esports, they're always just going for that aggressive approach inside the game, and sometimes it works out in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. And that's one of those problems. You cannot be aggressive in every single round all the time. As soon as Lethal found out that the B site isn't taking, they started moving towards the B site without even checking the corners, without even checking those basic angles, and they just got caught off guard. You gotta expect for the players on the flank. And those are one of those rookie mistakes too. Aster Army once again. Just outside mid. Looking to find any visuals on the players if possible. Both these teams this time, there's a huge change in the pace. Of course, the players pushed up quite deep towards A main, and now the ball's being given away too. There's a high chance the B main might just be executed, and that's what exactly is happening. Site control's taken in hand easily. Shivy's being denied as well with the smoke and the nano swarm, so Shivy's got no sort of visual whatsoever on the site. And now Lethal, they're starting to move in from the back lines as well. This flank might just be a huge one if they're able to avoid the KJ turret or even the alarm bot. That might just be able to give their entire push away. And now Doxer moves away at the nick of time as well. Interesting stuff being shown. And Shivy catches the flank, catches the lurker. Lethal Esports, they're really just able to come up with these straights. That's helping them bounce back inside the game. Aster Army, this is quite a scrappy round, that's for sure. But in the end, Aster Army, they've got the man number and the man advantage, and they secure another round in their favor. Just relying so much on those duels. It feels like a basic game. We aren't seeing proper retake scenarios. Just go for those aim duels whatsoever. Both these teams are just fighting it raw. They're taking it raw. We aren't seeing the utilities being utilized to the fullest level. Sometimes the round starts off quite slow, and then instantly the heat's being amped up out of nowhere. And then it just turns into a complete scrappy round where kills are just flowing off the board, off the table, all over the place. You don't exactly know what to expect. But this time, Rossi way too aggressive on mid. And Lethal Esports, they're able to come up with these traits. It's incredible. And now they've also got the man number in their sights, in their head. But it's completely fine on the side of Aster Army. They've still got the site control in their hands. It's a 3-on-4 situation. And now Aster Army, they've got this entire side to play on the post plant, but this aggressive nature is not going to work out. Wink being shut down.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, Dominic. That is a little too aggressive. That was a good move as well. Almost dodged the detain, but he gets caught. It's all going to be up to Doctor. He's trying to come in from tree, giving away the sound cues. Shibby gets the half defuse and Doctor's down. Dominic has to now stop them on his own. Good shot. And now all he needs to do is just play for time. Just needs to bait Kilpus out and he's done it.
Oh boy. Aster Army, they're able to get their groove back inside the game. Lethal Esports. I was having this entire conversation where it feels like both these teams are just taking those duels, those raw duels, without even having any sort of stuff, just backing them up. And Aster Army, at least they're able to set themselves in some position where Lethal Esports isn't even expecting them. But once again, then you start questioning Lethal Esports. They're not even checking those angles that you're supposed to check, those basic angles, while they're trying to make that retake possible. So they're just being countered really easily.
At least Lethal Esports went for that aggro push towards mid by both Rossi as well as Marzel in the start of the round, right? When they're on an eco, Lethal Esports need to take risks like these. It did give them an edge. It was almost a 4v3, and Lethal Esports had the man advantage. They even had a player detained, so technically Lethal Esports had all they needed to win, but they just simply couldn't seal the deal, which basically seemed like the narrative of their entire run in the tournament so far. But in this particular round, Aster Army are taking things slow. They are still waiting in case Lethal Esports make one of those aggro pushes yet again, but this time Lethal have cut the aggression. Contact play. It's all going to be slowed towards a shot, and as soon as Shibby sees them, he falls back. Wink charges through the fragment. He doesn't care. He's going all in. Lucia's trapped in hell, and he finally gets traded out. Shibby trying to isolate the duels, but Kishi will get the better of him, and the op not able to find anything yet.
It's a 2-on-4, and the site's easily taken away from Aster Army. Lethal Esports once again just losing out on those duels. It's like the round starts off pretty slow, and then later on it just catches pace out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's the standard definition of a contact play. You'd stay silent for as long as possible, and the moment you get spotted, you burst down on the site with all the utility in the world.
But still, it just feels like the utilities aren't being used to their fullest potential. Yeah, you're seeing some basic smokes being popped just to deny that visual. But again, you aren't seeing one of those proper executes where you're trying to use the nanoswarm as well to push out the players back and stuff like that. Yeah, they're able to get the gun saved. At least they've got the operator back in their hands. So that's a good news for Lethal Esports. They can try and rely on the upcoming round where they will probably try to flip things around, go with some aggressive peeks with the operator.
Yeah, actually, now that you say it, I do see the relevance over here, because we did see Kishi use his flashes quite late in the round, not really to entry into the site. So yeah, maybe that will change this time. Kishi already has the flash equipped, so he's making that flash play to help set up Wink for an early peek towards B main, but he doesn't get peeked by anyone on Lethal. And that is by design, because they're waiting for Rossi's op to make first contact. And as soon as they are focusing on Rossi, they're hoping that Lucia will actually catch them by surprise, because he's playing in a one and done position of sorts. But the Hunter's Fury, it does destroy the lockdowns. The Shibby saves Lucia because he can't escape from there, you know? If he needed to escape, he would have had to use his ult.
Yeah, and he also found a tag onto two of those players, Kishi and Coley. Kishi's been taken down, so Lethal Esports, these tags do matter. Little plays, there's still little details that really do fill in.
Nice. Slowly
and steadily. But I like this setup from Kiltazat this time. It's just covering the entire A side. They've also got the alarm bot on the entry. As soon as the alarm bot's going to be triggered, the entire nanoswarm setup will be triggered as well. And look at Wink is just pushing up so deep. This aggressive play from Wink is just so unexpected. Rossi misses a crucial shot. And we'll probably need to pay the price for that, but Rossi's able to fall back to safety, so he will be okay with that one. Site taken away from Aster once again, and now Lethal Esports left to retake.
Yeah, can people do it though? Retaking with an op can be difficult at times, and it's not like anyone's gonna give Rossi this fight. Unless he checks a bow as well. Nope. The moment he tries to peek ahead, Coley catches him off guard. He was just waiting like a whack-a-mole puppet over there, waiting for the perfect timing. The flash again won't do anything as Aster Army just roll off with the heads.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm just confused. There was a paranoia available. Lucia had a paranoia. He could have used that. When the Opera died, the positions, or at least the basic positions, were given away, so they knew that there's some players in the close. They could have tried to use the paranoia the people that are in the front, and then peek out. The double peek could have caught the entire team off guard on the site. But we're just not seeing those utilities being used to the fullest potential. Lucia had his entire kit available till the end.
Well, at least the flash from the KO was used, that's something. But yeah, like I said, it's not enough to stop them. Aster Army had a great adjustment too. Lucia caught them from the shadows. He used that ultimate like one basic expensive recon dart, and he figured out what was going on. But I like the adjustment from Aster Army. Instead of going directly in from the doorway region where the Killjoy util was blocking their pathway, they went in from tree, which is a great adjustment, you know. And this time Shivi picking up the weapons of desperation. They're waiting to pop out of the smoke. The Hunter Security Clear angles out, and Lucia gets flashed. He almost got that kill, but at least Marzel's able to neutralize the situation. Even Rossi's doing quite a good job of taking Aster Army down, just making them a little weaker before the spike goes down.
He tried to one-way that smoke, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately for him. The smoke's going to go down as well, but it's still completely fine. Aster Army, they've got 3 players alive. It's a 3-on-3 situation. And it seems like for the retake, even the players of Lethal Esports, they don't really have a lot of utility available. Marzel does have one flash for that. Marzel will need to stay alive. He does stay alive, of course. Flash is being utilized too, but it's not going to matter. Kishi hits some nutty shots and just puts the entire roster of Lethal Esports to sleep.
Yeah, dude, amazing stuff from Kishi. I was actually a little concerned over there when Kohli started to pick up this fight. So his skill on Kiltazad was perfect. He waited for the contact, made the timing play well. But he was the only healthy player on Aster Army. So when the 2 remaining players, Kishi and his teammate, was left by himself, they were on like 3 HP and 40-something HP respectively. So I was a little worried. But man, Kishi is on fire today, making short work of Lethal Esports. This time, once again, Lethal Esports are on an eco. So, as one would expect, they are going for that aggro play down mid. And unfortunately, it doesn't work for them this time. That's a very quick round. Within like 10 seconds, it's over, bro.
Okay. I really just don't understand the fact that you're on the eco and you're still going to push out mid, in which clearly, if the Vandals are going to be against you, they will have a huge advantage considering mid is quite an open ground, and you're given those duels in the open grounds.
But, okay, look at the setup now. Maybe this will finally catch Aster Army off guard. So, at least Aster know that whenever Lethal's on an eco, they will play aggressively, right? But now, Lethal has a full buy, so Aster might expect them to play passively, which is not going to be the case. Wink goes in and instantly decapitates Shivi. That was quick, but Rossi's op finally starts to sing the song of death. And now Aster Army realize, holy, wait a second, going mid was a mistake. There's way too much resistance over there. Let's try our luck towards B main instead. And they're able to get inside at the very least. But look at Kohli going to neutralize the situation instead of helping his teammate on the site. He's going in for an aggro peek to a CT, and Rossi prepared for this one. Kohli thinking a few steps ahead, but Rossi sees it coming.
Yeah, that's a huge int moment from his side. And then in the end, Lethal Esports, they're finally able to capitalize and understand exactly what Aster Army are trying to bring to the table. Operator being positioned aggressively, the Operator finds value, and then instantly Lethal Esports able to win that entire round.
Last round before
Perfectly done from Lethal Esports. Just countering the entire play of Aster Army, but still that shot from Wink was quite disgusting.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
It was quite smooth.
In the end of the day, yeah, it was quite smooth. The transition, just straight up aiming on his head, shuts him down, but he instantly gets traded too. So that was a good trade from their side. But Marzel now has null command available. He will probably try to use that inside a retake scenario, which can help them retake the sites, of course.
There's another null command on Kishi as well, which I guess he will use to execute. They just set up the same as previous round though. Alarm bot towards tree and nanoswarms on A as well. So B remains relatively defenseless, except for the fact that there's 3 players over here. So this stack can actually help. Marzel going berserk. Is there a world where this KO gets revived? Can Kishi get back up on his feet? Yes, he can. Kel'Thuzad doesn't play the timing well enough, but he's still making his move, so things are still possible. The drone tag, it was actually very impressive. A risky move by Koli, and he finally gets punished for it, and now Shivi strikes. Things are falling in place for Lethal Esports, but they just about got the man advantage. Aster Army still have a chance of bouncing back. They can at least recover the spike at the very least.
Scanning ahead.
Probably would have tried to. That's a good recon dart. Doxer gets scanned too. He thought he could skip the scan away if he moves out of the B main area and quick as possible, but unfortunately got scanned at the last second. Position compromised, and Doxer is trying his best to fight back, and now we're dialed down to a 2-on-2 scenario.
30 seconds.
Kel'Thuzad in an unexpected
One enemy
position.
remaining.
Aster Army do not expect him there, and Kishi is the last man to stay alive. The spray's quite iffy. Kishi will capitalize and shuts him down. Lucius, the last man left alive from Lethal Esports. Aster Army, they've got a huge lead to capitalize on, to play on. This cushion is definitely quite helpful, and this is the
10
last
seconds
round inside the first half too. So Aster Army do want to end things on a good note.
Yeah, and he knows exactly where his enemy is, but he can't do anything about it. Instant 0 point goes through, so he doesn't get paranoid, but here goes the peek, and Lucia finally gets it.
7-5 half. This is actually going way closer than we all expected it to.
Yeah, but then again,
That's a good half.
yeah. One thing I have to admire about Lucia is he's found value out of his ultimate every single time. The last time he used From the Shadows, he was able to see like
30
2 or
seconds
3
left.
people
One
of
enemy
Aster Army
remaining.
moving towards A short, so that was crucial information this team needed. And this time in the 1B, he knows the pressures on Kishi, right? So if they can just hold B, Kishi will be forced to come and plant over there. There's only 20 seconds, so
Yeah.
even if you move towards the A side, you will be left with very little time. So that's when the ultimate comes in handy. Great performance by
Exactly.
Lethal so far.
Exactly. I mean, look, both these teams are looking on a decent page, of course. If you do compare Lethal Esports to Aster Army, it just feels like their team play is a little better. But by little, I mean like it's like just an inch better, not that good. So still, there's a lot to improve. I feel like in the second half, we might just see that improvement. But with that being said, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Can't for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20 Born Magnetic.
Can't for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Lethal Esports do have a little lead, but they don't have the cushion. They cannot rely on this lead, because if Lethal Esports, they win this pistol round, that means the lead will be instantly nullified. Aster Army is the currently one who has the lead in the hand. So now Aster Army being forced on the defense and Lethal Esports on the attack. I feel like Lethal Esports might just shine through a little well on the attacking side.
Yeah, and Lethal Esports taking their sweet time. They make noise towards the B side, but they're also actually heading towards A short at the same time. So this kind of forces Aster to play on default. They can't preemptively stack one of these sites.
Oh!
Spike down A.
Oh, that's a quick tap and a dirt nap. Lucia being sent back to childhood with that tap. And now Wink, he finds one more, but Lethal Esports, at least the traits are on the point. Rossi and Kel'Thuzad able to follow up with one of their own. And Dominic as well has been pushed up so deep into A main. Look at Coley, he's just
Timing.
moving in slowly and steadily from the back lines. But a lot of shots whiffed from Shivy.
Spike down
That might just compromise his entire life, but that's not going to be the case. Aster Army too, it seems like even they themselves are whiffing out on quite a lot of shots, and Lethal Esports finally they end up capitalizing. The Classic's not going to be that good compared to Ghosts, and Rossi with only 40 HP is able to make the great escape.
Why does it always feel like in pistol rounds, these teams are playing ring around the rosies with each other, you know? You have the aggression from Lethal Esports towards Tree, and someone shuts the door in their face, so that's good. That stops them in their tracks, buys time for rotation. And at the same time, while Aster Army are coming back towards a shot to help each other out, Aster Army have already fallen back towards mid, in which case Dominic's push on a main will actually help them. But again, timing factors missed by both these teams. The window of opportunity is gone, and now we are stuck in this awkward 1v1 where both the players really just need to be very, very careful. Oh, good jump by Dominic straight into the smoke. He's going for the tap all the way. Rossi gives away his position, but he just about gets the frag.
The smoke wasn't good. It barely covered the spike, so it was quite easy to find the spam as well. Yeah, Dominic should have done a better job at that smoke. But still, every single time whenever we see these pistol rounds, it's just so random.
One enemy remaining.
You're not able to see anything being done clearly. It just feels like it's a complete 5v5 shooter with no abilities. And just some basic smokes, and that's it. And both these teams are just relying heavily on their aim. That's it.
The utility part might be missing, but they're actually trying to one-up each other quite well in terms of rotations. But this time, the Lucas was going for a straight-up fast A hit. Rossi doing quite a lot of damage. Mazen burns Goalie alive, so that was fast. Doxer hasn't revealed his position yet, though, and when he finally peeks, he's gonna get them all.
Thrifty.
Kishi, what a madman. Both these players just stepping up with the pistols, demolishing all the momentum that Lethal acquired for themselves in pistol.
Such a quick round. Lethal Esports, what were they thinking in that? I mean, yeah, they were just trying to throw the surprise element inside. They did find 1 or 2 kills for themselves, but that was the only thing they were able to get. And then later on, those 2 players left over from Aster Army, they just bounced back so well. They walked into an entire trap that was set up against them. Lethal Esports, they wanted to throw in a surprise, but they got surprised themselves.
Yeah,
Lethal
expect
Esports.
Surprise-ception.
Yeah. Oh, Blade Storm available onto Rossi. And he's going to push out quite aggressive this time. Oh, whiffs the shots. And he will be taken down easily. Goalie still just positioning himself in the corner. And also taking down Marzul way too low. Marzul being shut down. And the Odin's just causing a lot of problems. Aster Army. Oh, they're like an uncrackable wall inside this round as well. And they capitalize so quickly, just dismantling the entire Lethal Esports squad. And Dominic missing those crucial shots. And he realizes, all right, I messed up. Maybe I should fall back now and try and play a little safe.
I mean, the shots weren't crucial, you know. He could have easily let him go because he's got the info. But yeah, now that Lucia's got the gun, that's a smart move. Throws the gun away. You can't recover that. I mean, Lethal don't need the weapons. They can buy in the next round anyway. And now they see, he's thrown it out. You can't hit the Vandal again. So a little bit of economic damage done. And by a little bit, I mean just 1 gun worth of economic damage done. But yeah, Lethal Esports, I wouldn't exactly call Aster Army that wall that you called them. But yes, if you do try to crack the wall one at a time, then you will not be able to do it. Rossi dashes into a position where his teammates can't trade him out, and Marzel, in a desperate attempt to provide some backup to him, himself gets caught in lane 1, while the rest of his team is just struggling to get out of that B main mount. So yes, that does happen when you try to crack a wall 1 by 1. You have to hit it with all your force, and going at it 1 by 1 isn't going to solve your problems. This time,
okay, Doxer.
Much faster towards a shot, right?
Yeah. Or at least to get the mid control, they're looking quite desperate. And it does seem like, so far, they're able to establish some sort of mid control, but they still don't exactly have a lot of map control. That's one of the problems. It's being denied by Aster Army. And they're doing it quite well, too. Still, so far, we aren't seeing any utilities being utilized. Still, the Owl Drone's available in the hands of Shivy. I mean, if he does want, he can definitely go and try to utilize it to find out a little bit more scans and a little bit more information that he can rely on. That's a good 0 point to suppress Doxer. Killjoy being found as well, so now they know there's someone present in the mid. The mid control's trying to be taken over, but Lethal Esports, at the end of the day, all that matters to them is to try and get some footing on the B site, and that's what they exactly do. They get their land control, but still there are 2 players available in the backside that are just hiding in the back, waiting for the players of Lethal Esports to follow up in. But Lethal Esports, they clear them out like a piece of cake.
Yeah, and this time the rotations from Aster Army were quite late. Lucia's in a position to catch them both. At least he gets Dominic, and he should have realized that there's one more person on mid, but at the same time, Kishi makes his presence known to its CT, and that's about it. Wink left to his own devices. Wow, he actually gets that? That's surprising.
Spam's gonna find one. But yeah, Lethal Esports, finally, they're able to claw their way back inside the entire scoreboard. So that's a good thing for them. The lead, it seems like it's being nullified, and Aster Army, they're really starting to struggle. Considering Lethal Esports is one of those teams that has been absolutely dominated inside this entire competition, and if Aster Army is going to be struggling against Lethal Esports this much, it really just makes me worry for Aster Army too. I mean, Lethal Esports, I'm going to be completely honest, we aren't seeing any type of proper executes inside this entire scenario or inside this entire matchup that we've been seeing.
Hey.
Some basic information collected, going for those duels instantly, double peeking and corner. Maybe that's like the best resort in the teamwork that we've seen so far.
But at least they're able to get the early man advantage, so that counts for something. Now this time it's Aster Army who are taking a gamble, stacking up most of their players towards the A side and leaving B completely empty. I'm surprised that Doxer hasn't even used too much of his utility this time. So that mid util is missing. Someone needs to mark it and totally moves into position to account for that. But B cannot be accounted for at all.
Shadows traveling.
And even Lethal Esports are taking their sweet time, you know. Since they have the advantage, they might as well use it and try to make Aster Army over-rotate and play themselves out. Null command activated, so Wink can't escape. Paranoia hits him square in the face, so now the range of that operator diminished down to a fraction of its potential. But still, he is deadly.
Connects that shot, and Marzil's still alive in the main. Followed up with Kel'Thuzad and Shivy too. All these 3 players just peeking out, one after the other. Really a lot of problematic stuff. Wink's operator, at least for now, is being suppressed. As Shivy peeks out once again, and Wink is now starting to miss a lot of shots. Pops out the Blade Storm as well, and just jumps up and shuts him down. Shivy does not expect that peek. Oh, Wink. Those are the shots you're not supposed to miss, but you did. Aster Army coach writing down some notes, but oh man, those notes don't really seem that helpful, considering the struggle's still there.
Yeah, and it's quite unfortunate for Lethal Esports too, right? Because they got that early man advantage and they still failed to capitalize on it. Aster Army somehow managed to gamble correctly. They figured out where Lethal Esports is going to be headed, and they start that very exact site. So I'm starting to feel kind of bad for Lethal, you know? Even after taking the advantage, they walk into a site without knowing that it's fully stacked, and yeah, that's when the troubles begin. This time, though, they managed to isolate the fight well. Doxer locked out of the action by the smoke and the nanoswarms, so that leaves poor Cody all by himself. Dominic uses his ultimate to join him in backside, but the fight's happening towards mid, where Doxer reigns supreme, at least avenges Wink. This lockdown is now going to force Lethal Esports back, and as they're trying to fall back, Kishi's there to catch them. He gets Marzil, so this is a great move by Aster Army by playing so proactively, using 2 ultimates. They've already put Lethal at a disadvantage, and now Kishi's ready again. The drone murder. This is going to be a clone of the previous round, but they didn't expect Kel'Thuzad to be around the corner as well. Another interception in place by Doxer, and he makes it look easy.
Lucia, the last man left alive. It's now a 1-on-3 situation. With the Spectre in his hands. Doxer in the front. Oh, that got a little close. Doxer with only 5 HP left. Almost lost a duel in the long range against the Spectre. But was able to connect his own shots. We do take a look at the replay again. It looked like quite a scrappy round, even though the lockdown was invested. But at the end of the day, Aster Army were able to capitalize on that one. And Lethal Esports, they're really being choked down.
Yeah, this seemed like the freshest round from Aster Army so far, because up until now their movement had been restricted towards their own, defensive spawn and rotating via it. This time, though, Aster Army
Get out of
reaching
my
all
way.
the way to the depths of attacking spawn. And now that's the level of aggression you haven't seen from them so far, and Lethal Esports really caught off guard. Relegated down to their sheriffs and the weapons. They now have to hope that the forces are enough. But Marzo popping some heads. Dominic.
Enemy remaining.
Oh my god! Doxer, he was absolutely merciless over there.
Doxer with a 4K. It's understandable too. The enemy team's almost on an eco. Doxer's only got 3 bullets in the chamber. We'll go for a reload. And Doxer doesn't even have a lot of HP left, so all Shivy needs to do is just connect one more shot and shut down Doxer that easily. Doxer peeking out. Shivy expects this peek, and Shivy this time connects the heady.
There they are.
Doxer being shut down. Operators in the back as well, just waiting for Shivy to peek out. Does Shivy expect this operator? That's going to be the answer, and Wimp will find it easy for himself. A flawless round from Aster Army to follow it up. Another round taken in the hand, and now they're starting to build a nice lead, which they can rely on. This is a cushion Aster Army we're looking out for.
Yeah, and Marzo made this round so close. I mean, impressive performances from both him as well as Doxer. Just going on killing sprees over here to nail this round into a very nail-biting 1v1. Sorry, a 1v2 rather. And with all that said and done, Aster Army had to deal with a couple of snags in the way, but they found their way to map point.
Lethal Esports, we're seeing a lot of change in the pace from their side. They're always just bringing that mix, which sometimes might just fiddle with Aster Army's mind, but the more time you give Aster Army to capitalize on, the more time you give them to read. They're reading it perfectly. Rossi going for quite a dry peek. Could have been one. Uses the cloud burst to force that peek from the enemy, and he will be able to do so perfectly, but this time Rossi's got no team cover. But still, Doxer overextends and gets shut down. Marzel found an easy pick and also found a trade for his team. But that's a nice null command being popped as well, but still there's a huge problem in front of him, and that's going to be the name of the lockdown. The lockdown's still going on, but Kel'Thuzad eventually manages to shut down that threat. Threat being neutralized, and now Dominic, the last man left alive, and he's being expected over there too. Lucia does have some sort of a glimmer that there is a threat in the back lines in the binary.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, and the threats are being dealt with. It's all down to Wink. Odds stacked against him, but he's gonna go for it bravely. Can't even get his feet on the ground before Shiver plucks his head off midair. Good adjustment from Lethal Esports. The lockdown really made things awkward for Aster Army. But yes, that being said, there were some mistakes from both the sides on mid. Doxer gets a nice kill. Rossi in a position where he didn't have any backup, and despite getting the advantage, Doxer extends further. So, yeah, you pointed it out correctly. That 1v1 fight between Rossi and Doxer, it was happening on an island away from the rest of the entire map.
Oh boy. 8-12 and a tactical timeout from Aster Army. Oh, this game is going surprisingly close. Lethal Esports, they're really giving a tough fight to Aster Army over here. And this is a sign of concern for Aster Army. Coach definitely is looking quite worried for his team too. He knows this struggle is definitely not good. He's writing down some notes on the notebook. I'm not able to read it because, of course, it's quite tough to read. It's quite small.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm
your
pretty
glasses
sure
will have to be basically telescopes if you want to catch a glimpse of that.
And I don't think so we're still going to be able to see that because the feed we're receiving, it's not even that crisp and clean. So it's still going to be next to impossible to read that.
Good for them, I guess. They don't want their strats getting leaked out like this.
Yeah.
Lethal Esports this time, they're expecting a eco from Aster Army, so that's why they are probably looking to play this one at a medium-ish pace, not too fast, not too slow. So they make contact towards A. They also left a couple of players towards B. They're just spreading out on default and then hoping that they can figure out if Aster Army have set up a stack anywhere. I mean, in this round, we can see that Aster Army have the stack on A, but Lethal Esports don't have any way of ascertaining that for sure.
Oh, man. B site left over on Doxer, and Doxer's also looking over at mid. That's an interesting way to play the defensive half, I guess. Mid control's been completely taken over. So if Lethal Esports do want to go inside mid and also B site, it's not going to be that tough. It's going to be clear soon enough. Rossi moves in, close. The low command's being activated as well. That means the entire cage of kit's now going to be deactivated too. Hunter's Fury utilized to clear the back site. Perfectly done from Lethal Esports. They will have a clean stroll on the site as well. Try to find some connections through the smoke, but that's a little Pepega moment from the side of Doxer. Doesn't find anything. Did hear the footsteps quite close though. And Doxer's got the lockdown available, but I highly doubt he will try to use that in an eco round.
Yeah, and Lethal Esports, look at their post plans. They're not playing from inside this side. They're going all the way to the main, even playing as aggressively as the defender spawn. And Kel'Thuzad just finds himself a nice spray down. Runs out of bullets on the last one, but this is a rather clean round from them. Oh, wow. Stylish frag from Shivy.
Oh, no.
Lethal Esports used 2 of their ultimates, and I think Shivy used his Hunter's Fury rightfully, because in the past he's seen that Aster Army always stack up the back of B site. Their players will almost never play from default spots like your market or your lane 1 or even from switch for that matter. But they will always just fall back to the back of B site when the B site is under attack. So that's one piece of information that Lethal Esports have figured out correctly. So the Hunter's Fury to clear that out, used rightfully, and they avoid the stack that Aster Army had on A. So this is crisis averted for now. But the other crisis is Kishi, and he is on a roll.
Any blocking sight.
Oh, talk about the roll. But this time, as soon as Wink gets his hands on the operator, Lucius being found. That means next to impossible to get a side execute. 3 players already lost. 2 more to go. Shivy and Kel'Thuzad.
One
Oh
enemy
man,
remaining.
this is quite a KW round. Aster Army, they're just able to line up these bodies, and this is the last round too. Whoa. But Shivy catches both of them off guard, but unfortunately whiffs the shot on the last man. And Aster Army, they win the first map inside this entire BO3 series. Ascent taken over by Aster Army, but we've still got Pearl and Split to go. Pearl is going to be the second map where we'll be seeing both these teams duke it out, but what's going to be the outcome? That's a huge question. Pearl is the map select of Lethal Esports, so there's a high chance Lethal Esports might just shine through.
Yeah, I hope that Lethal Esports can bring something nice to the next map. In this map, at the very least, they were able to figure out where Aster Army was setting up traps, even though they weren't able to completely avoid them. That little read that they were able to get kind of tells you that Lethal Esports aren't completely out of this one yet, and there might just be some hope when they go into the next map, Pearl. Since it's their own map pick, reading information on that one should be slightly easier for them. But is it gonna be easy? Can Aster Army close this 2-0, or will we be going to split? We'll find out after a short break.
Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
I know my destiny.
question marks will be erased as soon as we move on towards the agent select, and that's what we're exactly going to do. And with that being said, welcome the YouTube audience once again to the second map. That's going to be played on Pearl. Of course, it's a pick of Lethal Esports, so there's a high chance Lethal Esports might just be able to dominate on the map of Pearl, considering the first map was the pick by the players of Aster Army, and it went way too close for comfort. The agent select was in front of you guys, and soon enough, we're going to be moving inside the map as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Both these teams have a lot riding on this match. Both of them waiting for their first win. They've had a tough time in the Valorant Challenger South Asia so far. Both Lethal and Aster Army in the past have shown glimpses of brilliance, but now that everything lies on this particular map, the stakes are as high as ever. Lethal Esports waiting for their first win. Aster Army have shown us how they can bring things close against the bigger teams, but they're not able to close the deal against them yet.
Yeah.
If they struggle against Lethal, then that's a red flag for them going into the rest of the tournament as well. And both these teams need to not just win, but they need to win with big margins in order to close the round difference between them and Metal Esports, who's currently standing on number 3 in the group. Let's see if they're able to do it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Pearl is underway.
Exactly, and as you said, Wink came up with the sign of 2-0. So that means Aster Army, they're quite confident on this map against Lethal Esports. But are they actually going to be able to convert that confidence into a victory? That's what we're here to find out. Wink, spot the alarm bot. That's a good spot from his side before even triggering it. Just waiting for someone to peek out from Arts. But that doesn't seem the case. That's a good block from them. But the smoke is definitely heard, and now the turret contact goes off as well. Lethal Esports, they're now aware exactly of what's going on next to him. But Aster Army, just trying to fiddle with the enemy mines. Alarm bot being triggered once again, and Aster Army falling back. The entire rotation was there too from Lethal Esports. It was quite quick.
Obscuring vision.
Ooh, and Aster Army now are on a timer. They need to capitalize on this fake that they just sold towards A. They need to hurry towards B, where Rossi's the only defender, and they need to do it quickly. Opportunities missed, but Rossi doesn't miss. He's precise. Shivy strikes twice, and now Dominic is left to his own devices alone. His teammates are desperately trying to join him from B long, but they are late to the party, and Rossi's making it look like one. Dinks through the wall, and Coley's very low on HP. He's surviving on his last legs, which finally fall, and he falls down to his knees, and Rossi is on fire, man. Dominic tries to bring it back, but Rossi is a beast untamed in this round.
Well, the 4K saves the day for his team. Single-handedly just stops the entire wave of Aster Army. But once again on the B side, it was quite still a scrappy round. Trades were just happening back and forth, but at the end of the day, Rossi single-handedly was just able to shut down every single player that stood up in front of him. Well played from his side. Inside the elbow region, able to stand that strong. It's crazy. You don't even have a lot of maneuverability in those back lines, and he was still able to shut down those players. Impressive work. Marzil holding up a flash in his hands. But so far, even Aster Army, they're taking quite a slower approach. They've got the sheriffs in the hand, and they want to make every single bullet count. That's a nice little switch up. And the alarm bot wasn't expected by Aster Army, and they get caught off guard.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to take the B site. If only they showed this kind of resilience in the previous round, then Lethal Esports wouldn't have been able to win the pistol. But then again, they didn't really use that to clear the backside as much, and that's why Rossi was able to go on the killing spree. But now in this 4v3, there's very little util that Lethal Esports have that they can actually use to suppress this round. 0 point detects where Doster is, but the remaining players still unchecked.
Ooh. That's a nice way to use the fragment. At least just suppressing the push for now, but Lethal Esports, they're finally able to make their way on the side. A lot of shots with Doxer. Oh yeah, that's not a whiff you can afford in these type of moments. And now Rossi is on the verge of clutching this entire round. Luckily enough,
no way!
But he still clutches it with only 15 HP in the hand. But he doesn't have a lot of time left to get the defuse. But Rossi, oh, that was an incredible 3K, completely thrown away from Aster Army.
Yeah, but Aster Army at least are able to get the round in the bag. As scrappy as it is, the momentum is what mattered more. Aster Army just pressing the attack towards B-Link, identifying it as one of the weaker areas of Lethal Esports. But Rossi, once again, he just goes on that killing spree, man. A quad kill and pistol, a triple kill over here. If he keeps on performing like this, then Aster Army need to start ringing the alarm bells.
Oh man, Doxa really needs to hold his nerve with the gun. A little panic shoot moment from his side.
What?
But Aster Army finally just waiting for that peek. Aggressive peek from the side of Rossi being punished this time, and Aster Army playing this quite well. Anticipating that push, countering that one, and now the entire position should be compromised as well. Another player being spotted on the site. The stars being utilized pretty well from the side of Aster Army. They're able to find these openings that are quite crucial, and Marcel is trying to fight back, but he's getting spammed through.
This time Aster Army faced no resistance.
Spike planted.
Nice little aggression from Lethal Esports, instantly punished, and Aster Army use it to boil away.
Last player
Lucia tanks the Nano Swarm, hoping to surprise Doxa, and he does. And Doxa finally gets him from beyond the grave, but these are the kind of surprises that Lethal Esports need to go for in eco rounds where they don't have much hope of winning. Even now, Kel'Thuzad's waiting with the shorty, hoping that somebody strolls around in this area and then he can yoink the gun away, steal it. But Aster Army don't take any of that risk. It's quite concerning how Rossi pushed up all by himself. I mean, if the rest of the lethal players also pushed along with him and then they died, it at least would have made sense, you know? But Rossi pushing by himself, how much can you back him up? Even if Marcel throws flashes to help him set up for success, those flashes are kind of easily dodgeable by Aster Army because they're playing behind the pillar and everything. So yeah, that was a bit of a red flag, but hey, Rossi had his Blade Storm, he just wanted to use it and try to get some aggression. Now he's got the bigger gun. The AWP is now in play.
Lethal Esports, they've only got one round so far in their hands, and Aster Army cannot afford to peek out once again. On the B-long side, a slower approach taken from them, which is really needed too. Rossi with the operators ready, cooking up, and his operators being spotted too. Rossi gets spotted, tagged up with their drone, but still he's unfazed. Still holding the same angle. Eventually will fall back too, and now considering Aster Army, they've got the information that there's an operator waiting for them to just greet him on the B site. They instantly start making a rotation. And this rotation is going to be quite quick too, but there's an entire setup of killjoys just available, and even Astra, so it's going to be tough to funnel inside the site, but the Hunter's Fury might just be able to find some packs, but no, it's going to be the answer. Astra Army, they finally are able to get the site in the hand.
Yeah, site taken, and this time Aster Army, they played very, very patiently. The crossfire established between Dominic as well as his fellow KO, Kishi. Meanwhile, the two remaining players have already fallen back towards A main, so they are playing this all the way behind. Smoke split up, that will make things difficult for Lethal Esports to peek out of. And it seems like Lethal just gonna call it a day. They call the save. That's great. At least they can save the AWP, but if Kishi somehow tries to intercept them and get a couple of exit frags, it will be a bit of a red flag. He's already figured out where they are, so he wants to pick up these fights, and he's not like he's being very secretive about it. The footsteps are definitely heard, so Marcel knows he's on his way.
Yeah. He was on a prowl. He knew they pretty much got the round, so might as well just try and hunt some players down. Put a little more dent on the opponent's economy, but that was a good call being made from Lethal Esports. And that in itself just shows us or tells us how even they're desperate to win this entire matchup on Pearl. That save from Lethal Esports could be their lifeline inside this entire round, and it can prove out to be quite crucial. The operator's still there in the hands of Rossi. It hasn't found any sort of blood yet, but I'm pretty sure inside this round, Rossi might just be sent even more aggressive.
Triple stack on Hearts. Lethal Esports really making the surprise work. Meanwhile, Rossi's holding A this time instead of B.
Yeah.
So I hope Aster Army are prepared for this surprise. Lockdown wasn't really needed. The site wasn't being contested that hard, but Now that this lockdown is at least posted up, Lethal Esports know what's happening. So this gives them some time to reposition. And it seems like Lethal Esports now want to go for a back plant instead. The spike plant somehow stalled up until now, and this buys Lethal so much more time. They can already get into position. It's up to Dominic to stop this push.
Yeah. Look at Dominic, he's in quite an interesting angle. Just waiting for them to fall in as Crosshair peeks out, finds one, gets the third one as well. The alarm bot was huge, it made the players vulnerable. And Dominic, he played off of that, so
I can't use that.
sees up, is able to find some blood. But it's a little too late. And that's why both the players from Lethal Esports, they start to fall back. Oh, that's a nice spam. Rossi, he caught a little haircut onto himself.
Scanning ahead.
Of course, it's not going to cost him his life, but still, it's going to soften him up a little bit. And Rossi starts to fall back, going for the save on the operator. Dominic's on a prowl, he's on the hunt, but it seems like Rossi's expecting this hunt. And Dominic been taken away.
You also have to give credit to Kishi. That flash allowed Dominic to get the triple. That was so clean. And the flash just really pops out at a hair's breadth, so nobody can really see it coming that way. Amazing stuff. And yes, Kel'Thuzad and Rossi can get a couple of exit frags. They can keep the Aster economy humble, but the truth is, Aster don't need to worry about money at all. They've spare 5,000, 4,000 credits, so they've got money for days. Meanwhile, Lethal Esports are only surviving on the weapons that they have been able to save so far, so that's not good for the Rico. No way, man.
Rossi's getting too desperate for these picks with the operator. Shivy. Spots on the entire push. This time the aggression's amped up a lot by Aster Army. It makes a lot of sense too. You gotta bring in some sort of a change in the pace, right? And Coley as well wins that duel against the Spectre in the close range quarter. So that's a huge one. Marzil all by himself, left on a mission to clutch it out. 1-on-4 scenario. Marzil looking to hand out some haircuts, maybe take away some bodies as well, but Aster Army themselves have got some players who are sent away to make something happen. Marzil's being spotted on the site. Coley's taken down way too low, so he wouldn't want to take the first contact, and that's what exactly happens. Coley placed that perfectly off of Kishi.
Yeah, both players just really helping each other out over there. Kishi's backup has been spot on so far. Whether it's throwing flashes which pop in their enemy's face, or whether it's just distracting the enemy so that they look in his direction while the other guy peeks out. That 1-2 combination that Kishi has with his teammates, it's amazing.
Did you look at his mouse pad? It was so small.
Wait, is it? I wasn't paying attention to that one, but
yeah,
now
it's
that you pointed
so
it out.
small. It's really small, and I personally cannot play with such a small mouse pad. Maybe he's one of those wrist aimers where you don't really need a lot of space on your desk, but still, it's even the mouse pad is quite worn out. He needs a new one, man. Someone buy him a new mouse pad, please.
I don't care if it's worn out, but it's quite rare of us to see low sensitivity players like that. Like me, for example.
High sense player.
I'm sorry. High sense players are quite rare. The only other one I know is like Deathmaker. Even though he's a high sense player, he uses quite a large mouse pad. Even me, my mouse pad is basically my desk. It's as big as my desk. So, yeah. Regardless, we'll talk about the mouse pads later. We'll talk about the speed. Aster Army just picked it up really well this time. At least in the previous round where they went towards the Art and A side, they took their sweet time, you know. They explored a little bit of double door, they got a kill over there, and they waited a couple of seconds to make sure everyone's in place to throw out util. But this time Aster Army, they did not hit the brakes at all. Went in for it right off the bat.
Oh. In the hands of Rossi.
Nice.
He's able to hand out some nice haircuts. Those shots are hurting. And Rossi. Oh, the Marshal's making a lot of work. Definitely that Marshal is something you need to be scared of. 2 bodies already taken off. An early man advantage given to Lethal Esports. This flank is of course quite nice. But if not executed properly, this can just be taken away. The entire man advantage can be taken away quite easily. Rossi once again with the Marshal in the hand is looking out to hand out some more pain.
Yeah,
but
and
Lethal Esports,
look at how they have stopped in their tracks. They don't want to peek out of B main yet. They know that the turret's active. So they'll probably try to suppress Doxer or maybe kill him. or just wait for the plant. And when the plant comes through, when it starts to tap, that's when Astrami are getting pinched. Even Nightfall has been invested, so things are just really in hyperdrive for Lethal Esports. They need to close this out, but Dux is getting the kills. Dominic also chimes in with one of his own. And they haven't gone for the plant yet. They just want to neutralize the man advantage, but they've done so really well so far. Aster Army forgetting the objectives and playing for violence, man. They get the round on the basis of kills. Amazing stuff. They knew exactly what Lethal Esports are up to. As soon as Rossi got those multi-frags, Lethal Esports needed to take a step back, which they did. They know that the ball is now in the court of Aster Army, so they wait for them to make a move, and as soon as they pretend to make a move by tapping the spike, the flag from Lethal gets activated. And in this case, Aster Army had no place to plant, so what they did was the best course of action. They left Kishi towards the back of B halls, while the rest of them go deep inside defender spawn and try to retake heaven, so they won't get crunched.
Get out of my way.
Amazing decisions by Aster Army. Great adjustment.
Goalie. This time on the drone. Scouting out the entire main side. Lethal Esports doing a good job not getting spotted by that drone. So no information recovered yet. And they continue to push. They continue to push out A main. This push might just catch the entire team off guard. Every single player's just present in mid. And the problem is, Aster Army, they've got no clue that there's a flank coming in. And this flank might just prove out to be huge if someone decides to check mid. And yes, that's going to be the call. Marshall peeks out. The first man expects him. But instantly, the trade's on the board too. Kishi shuts it down. And look at Lucia just out of air. A lot of shots whiffed. Goalie. We all saw that.
Yeah, Tisha recovers it in the end, so man advantage reacquired for Aster Army. Shivi's position though. He tanks a little bit of the damage, hoping to stop Kishi in his tracks, but Kishi's just better this time. And Rossi gets double peaked. There's a jet in the air, and Docs are on the ground, and now he's 6 feet under. Aster Army, yeah, there was some instances where there was a glimmer of hope for Lethal Esports, especially when they killed Dominic and got the spike in their grasp. But Aster Army recover, just like Kohli did. That's fine, that's fine. As long as you get the frag, it's fine.
Oh boy, that could have been close. Imagine if he dies there.
Yeah.
It could have been sticky.
Lethal Esports though, kind of in the trenches now. Rossi's on 11, but the rest of his teammates not anywhere close. Sitting on 3-4 frags respectively. Hopefully with this quadruple ultimate round, they should be able to mount some sort of a defense against Aster, but then again, they're relegated to a kill, so this Cosmic Divide can easily let Aster Army set up the plant. Lethal Esports don't want to contest this. It's gonna be a 5v5 retake. This lockdown covers the entire site. Lethal Esports have to defend it. Aster Army push in to destroy it, and they've got the man advantage again.
Last player standing.
Oh my goodness, Keltas are being pushed so hard over here. Yeah, eco round went as expected. Aster Army do take it for themselves, but Lethal Esports, there was a glimmer of hope with that lockdown. They knew for a fact that Aster Army will come to break it, because unlike most lockdowns which are placed towards the defender spawn or something which leave a tiny area of backside uncovered, this time the lockdown covers the entire site. So they knew for a fact that Aster Army are going to push out and try to break it. Lethal Esports just had to hold their ground, and unfortunately the superior weaponry on Aster doesn't let Lethal Esports do it. This is Lethal's map pick, and it doesn't seem like it at all. Aster Army just seems so comfortable. And Lethal need to do something differently. Rossi back to the off. No! Oh my goodness, that is unfortunate. Rossi was so spectacular on that Marshall, but with the bigger gun, with the op, he doesn't get anything. And now the one man who could have changed the narrative is down in his grave. Aster Army once again so comfortable, man. Now they can take their sweet time. Dominic's already deep inside A main, where he should be able to get into the site. And it's not like there's any KJ util present over there, so if Dominic just decides to take a casual stroll down A main, he won't be detected. Kishi, now with the recovered op, kills Kel'Thuzad, man. How does it feel to die to your own teammate's gun? And Kishi just selling this fake really well. But Lethal Esports don't bite it. Kishi committed his body to sell the fake, hoping that Lethal Esports would rotate away from the A side, but A is being defended regardless.
30 seconds left.
Lucia, nice timing. Shivi also
Spike
pops out.
down.
And now all of a sudden the crossfire is lethal. Dominic gets one. Needs backup. Brick arrives in time, but Dominic is down under now. With the shorty, he tried to get the better of Muzzle. Oh yeah, that was a bit desperate now. Lethal Esports finally with another round on the board. Aster Army are suppressed momentarily. But hey, Aster don't need to worry. They've got 8 rounds in the bag, which is very good, especially if you're on your own opponent's map pick. And they don't have to worry about money at all. Aster Army have money for days. I mean, they're almost on max credits now, so they can continue to move fearlessly in without having to worry about Lethal Esports shutting down their eco. Lethal though. I like the adjustment from them. This time, even though Kishi committed his body towards the B side, he even died in the hopes of selling a fake. Lethal Esports continued to hold their ground towards A because they just knew that Aster will hit it. And even when Aster Army were using their util and everything, Lethal didn't phase at all. They waited for the spike tap to actually reveal themselves, and that's when the crossfire rears its ugly head and devours their opponents. Much needed round by Lethal Esports, but Aster Army don't want to give them anything. They take this tactical timeout, hoping to nip this problem in the bud, hoping to deny these last few rounds to Lethal Esports. And let's just look at what's been working for Lethal so far, right? Out of the 2 rounds that they were able to acquire, one of them came on the back of a well-made call to not believe in Aster's fake, and the other one came down to the heroics of Rossi.
Where are you?
This time, Marzel has the op, not Rossi, which is kind of surprising. So let's see what Marzel is able to cook up. He's opping towards B. Meanwhile, Rossi's playing towards Art, and he's making his presence well known. He's hoping to sell the fact that because he's been spotted, Aster will not expect an op towards B, and that's when Marzel can surprise them. But this Hunter's Fury will force them back, and Vink goes all the way inside to clear out this area. Lethal Esports used the Prowler to re-clear, but they still met with resistance. Aster now knocking on the double doors. The spike has been committed in this region, so even though Lethal Esports have a couple of players to mark this area, Marcel's all the way deep towards B main, and he's able to nail both of them, Doxer and Dominic, in the ground. And now the remaining players, while they can plant the spike, getting post-plant positions will be difficult. Marzel finally gets shut down. It's about time that they encountered him. And Coley now left in a 1v3. Spike in no man's land, so it will be a difficult retrieval. But at least he's got 30 seconds, so there's some time. Lethal Esports falling all the way back. They don't want to give Coley any fights. No 1v1s offered. And I'm pretty sure that even Kel'Thuzad will fall back when the time is right. Coley doesn't have enough time to go back towards the A side. If he wants to make a move, he will have to put on his running shoes. Need to put on his Nikes and then just run it all the way. And this is going to be a very close one.
10 seconds
Kel'Thuzad already moving towards flower pots to stop him.
Oh, and he's going to go for the plants, but he doesn't know that Kel'Thuzad is just waiting for him. Already. Quite quick on their feet this time. Lethal Esports definitely able to shock their opponents pretty well. Good read coming out from their side. And finally, Aster Army, with the lead that were starting to run away, it just feels like now Lethal Esports, finally they're able to get the momentum swing back in their favor. Or maybe, or I might just be a little too early to say that.
Yeah, we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Last round on the board. If you're a believer of superstition, then you will probably expect Aster Army will win this round. But if you're not, then Rossi will be pushed back. Cloudburst, flashes, everything thrown at him. Somehow recovers his vision, but not his life. A dink comes through from Lucia, but he can't kill Wink.
Ooh. Trades did happen back and forth, but in the favor of Aster Army. The C's as well, the entire combination, the team play was just way better from Aster Army. Now they've also got the side control in their hands. The lockdown as well utilized so perfectly. A
Spike
quick
planted.
executor on the side. Lethal Esports being caught off guard. And now it's got 3 players waiting for him. Geltuzad wasn't able to pull off anything in that one. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the first half, but it's a 9-3 half. There might be a lot of superstitious people that might believe in the 9-3 players, but I highly doubt it's going to come true this time, considering the way Lethal Esports have been playing on the map of Pearl. And this is their pick too, and they're getting dominated so far by Aster Army.
Yeah, and Aster Army looks so clean. All the previous problems that they were facing in Ascent regarding trading, regarding being able to read Lethal, all those problems seem to have been miraculously solved. And one would have expected that Lethal solve these problems, right? Because it's their own map pick, but Aster Army just find so much value out of every single move.
Exactly. They, as you said, Aster Army, they're just looking way better when it comes to the team play as well. They're just looking in the groove. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, that's going to be it for the first half of the map 2. We'll be back with the second half after this short break.
Came for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Came for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back in the second half, ladies and gentlemen. We're 9-3 is the score line, and it feels like Aster Army might just start to run away if they do get this pistol round in their hands. But still, Lethal Esports, when it comes to the mechanical dominance, they have been looking pretty good. The skills are definitely there on the point, so there's a high chance that they will be able to get this round in the hand too. Interesting 0 point. It didn't scan anything.
Well, information denied by that 0 point. But Lethal Esports are highwaying their way towards the B site. Dominic has a little bit of backup now that Kishi's arrived on scene, but Kishi doesn't have any flashes, so they will have to peek dry, and Dominic can't win the duel against Marzel. Rossi dashes back in, and he's in prime position to shut people down, but he gets double peek towards Blink. Shivy stepping up, huge! He's going bonkers, man, and now Doxer's almost about to run out of bullets while he has to face Lucia and Shivy on his own. That is unfortunate. Lethal Esports win the pistol and keep the hope alive.
As I said, mechanically, of course, Lethal Esports, they've got the aim on the point and they win the pistol round. As we all know, pistol round heavily rely on your aiming capabilities. And that's why Lethal Esports were able to come out on top. But Dominic, of course, could have been the man who could have been able to turn the tables, but unfortunately missed those crucial shots and wasn't able to get the man down in time. And that's why Lethal Esports were just able to capitalize and flowing forward. They had a fluid flow on the B site.
Surprisingly, no force buy from Aster Army this time. Only a Marshall in the hands of Doxa. That Marshall, though, from Rossi in that round, it was so crisp. Which is also surprising when you saw Marzel pick up the AWP instead after that. That was a good one. 0 point. Wink gets suppressed, and he's not keen on giving away this position at all. Instead, he calls his teammates over towards the A side, which is actually the wrong gamble. Lethal Esports are headed towards B. I mean, like, the one gun that's present on Aster Army, at least that's present over here, so he can do some sort of damage to Lethal, but the opportunity is missed, and now the fragment forces him away. Oh, never mind, he can at least get a little bit of damage onto Marzel down, and Rossi with the Vandal is just going berserk. As one would expect him to, but now that Kishi's killed him, the Vandal is up for grabs. Can it be recovered? Nah, not quick enough. Lethal Esports win the first 2 rounds, and since there wasn't a force buy by Aster Army this time, they can actually afford to pick up the big guns this time, and it won't be much of a bonus, but hey, at least people can continue the momentum, you know? Economy was one of the problems for them in the first half. At least it won't be now. Not yet. 3 Vandals in the hand, so Lethal Esports do have some chance of fighting close range. They can probably use Shivy and Kel'Thuzad. I'm sorry, not Shivy. They can probably use Marzel and Shivy to move in from double doors or maybe art where the range isn't all that much and the specters can hold some value. Recon towards A and aggression too. So Astarami take A main very aggressively, but Lethal respond by taking double doors instead. And Rossi's already killed Kishi, so B side's now wide open. Re-aggression from Astarami towards A-Link as well as main. They're hoping to backstab Lethal Esports, but will they be able to do it in time? Kel'Thuzad says no. He's the bodyguard. He's the anti-flank man. Spike does go down. 2 on Heaven, ready to start fighting. But they're waiting for Wink to get into position, and even if Wink gets there, he's gonna have to go up against Lucia, who's looking sharp so far, but I think I cursed him when I said that. Now the crunch can begin. Doxer down. Kohli being pushed back. Rossi challenging him, and Shivi tries to help him out as well. He knows where Shivi is, but Wink doesn't have any other info, and how he doesn't have any vision. Great stuff by Lethal Esports. They're mounting this comeback. They survived the bonus round, upgrade all their weapons, and now poor Astarami are back in the economic trenches. This gives Lethal Esports to close the gap even further.
Finished.
A lot of composure, a lot of grace shown by Lethal Esports. The utility seems to be on point, at least for now. But then again, Astarami did take some gambly moves over there, choosing to reinforce A, even though Lethal Esports were quick on the B attack. So let's see if Lethal Esports can keep outmaneuvering Astarami with their pace like this, or will Aster finally find a solution? As the 0 points and recon dots are exchanged on either side, nobody gets caught, so it's all going to come down to contact again, and it's Kel'Thuzad who is being pushed hard. Nanaswan burns Kohli, separates him from Wink, so no trades possible, and Kel'Thuzad is able to double up. But Wink instead goes to his shops. Now he's hoping to kill Kel'Thuzad at the very least. Meanwhile, his teammates are getting caught by seizes towards A. Smoke keeping Dominic alive for now before he finally gets spammed out. And Lethal Esports keep it clean. Aster tried to go for the aggression, and to some extent they were successful, but they missed a lot of opportunities, and Wink missed a lot of shots, so no cigar for him. Good. He can at least recover the Vandal just in time to fight Lucia, but yeah, he doesn't look back in time. This is quite clean from Lethal Esports, you know. Usually in Ascent, we've seen whenever Lethal is playing a buy round, whenever AA have like an eco or something, they do lose quite a lot of their weapons. So these eco rounds, I'm sorry, not anti-eco rounds by Lethal Esports, especially in Ascent, weren't all that clean, but they are here, which is great. It would have been unfair if Lethal Esports weren't able to close out the anti-ecos on their own map pick. And now that Astarami have the weaponry again, let's see if they can get their first round on the board in this half.
There they are.
0 point and recon dots exchanged. So there's quite a lot of information being gathered towards A main on both the sides. But there's virtually no presence by Lethal Esports towards B. It's only Lucia holding the anti-flank and Astarami pushing all the way up towards the mouth of B main. So at least with this push, Astarami can figure out that Lethal have no choice but to attack the A side. And in case Lethal change their mind and start coming towards B again, Astarami will have early info with which they can rotate on time. But so far, Lethal still very adamant on going towards A. Nightfall.
Face your
Ready
fear!
and now he lets him loose. Goes diagonally across to clear out Art, and now the remaining members of Astarami have no choice but to play from dugout and flower pot, so the smokes can really just cut off their vision. But Kohli still gets one. That's amazing. No crunch on plant, but the plant will be denied by the gravity
30
belt.
seconds left.
So this is very nice. Astarami are buying time by delaying the plan from Lethal Esports. And now all of Astarami is here, so now they can get started. The crunch. Lucia instantly killed. And what on earth did I just witness? 1 second and everybody's dead. Before I could even speak about the first kill, everybody else was down in the graves. And Astarami, what on earth did they do? It's almost like Kano snapped his fingers and then half the server dies in a single second.
Last player standing.
Sheesh!
Down A.
That was clean! Kishi with the triple, his teammates helping him out. Way to go, Aster Army. Finally putting up a round in the second half.
There.
Suppressing. One suppressed.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A final push from Wink. Kishi's aware over here. He also could have had the flashes at the ready, but he just throws down the fragment to keep the esports at bay. And in the shadow of smokes, frags are exchanged, but it's only a 1-for-1 trade. Backup from Aster Army now arriving towards the B side. Meanwhile, Lethal continue to push in. They've lost a lot of HP on Rossi. But Lethal don't fall back, and now Shivi won't get to. His head's taken off, and Kishi looking so clean! So sharp! This man is unstoppable, dude! What on earth is this firepower? It's ungodly, borderline demonic. And the smirk on his face just tells everything.
Yeah, he's like, it's okay. I've got things under control, and takes the entire charge in his hands and just takes down every single player standing in front of him. And also looking so calm while doing it as well. Just having his breath under control. Yes, just makes it look so easy. Strafing in between, shooting as well properly, taking the players down in front of him. Crisp, clean play from Kishi. And the way to start off things in that previous round as well. Aster Army, of course, they now have a huge lead back in their hands. Lethal Esports, unfortunately, will need to catch up. And they've got quite a decent amount of catching up to do. Doxer also has another lockdown available, which he can try and counter.
You are divided.
At least the lockdown will give them some room, but Lethal Esports, they're starting to move in when Aster have retaken the site, and the cost pivot actually works against them. Aster disrespected and peek out of it all at the same time, and this time it's Kohli's turn to pop off.
Oh, Lucia all by himself, just left over there. Recon dart was sent in. Huddersfield utilized this wall to shut down this man, Lucia. Oh, he finds that sweet headshot. Might just give him a huge sigh of relief too, but he's left in a 1-on-2 to clutch it out. And I'm pretty sure Aster Army will swing off of each other. They will try to go for a contact play. They do. The first one found. The second one peeks out instantly. Well played, Aster. The teamwork's working fine. And Wink is able to play on in pretty nicely with his team too. Another round secured, and that's the match point. And the map point for Aster Army. One more round needed to secure the series in their hands.
One enemy remaining.
Aster Army can almost taste victory. This will be their first win in VCL South Asia, and they need to do it by a big margin. If they keep Lethal Esports at 7, they might just have a chance of getting into the top 3 if Metal don't succeed in their next game. But for now, Lethal Esports are holding no stops. They are pushing all the way in towards B-Link. Rossi going forward. He's just trying to dash over it. His teammates join him. Wink with the op towards B main. At least he can stop the crunch from happening, but Doxer spraying them down! It's 1 second and everybody's dead! Aster has his win in the bag, and the stun comes through. Doxer puts the final in the coffin.
Perfectly done from Aster. Nicely closed it out as well. Aster Army, they've had the site in the lockdown and done pretty well. As expected, they of course take the series 2-0 against Lethal Esports, but both the maps were still decently close enough. Well, Lethal Esports gave a tough fight against Aster Army, but at the end of the day, it was still a 2-0. As Wink promised, he delivered. And you gotta say, the man like Kishi was able to step things up so well as well in both the maps, having consistent performance for his team, doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, and the way they adjusted was also quite nice. Lethal Esports took the first 4 rounds of that second half under their control, and after that, as soon as Aster Army got the read, as soon as they figured out what Lethal was up to, they changed their setup to play in positions where they would initially give control away to Lethal Esports, but the moment they tried to tap that spike, that's when Aster Army would just descend upon them with the wrath of gods.
Yeah. Nicely done, man. Aster Army. As I said, as expected, of course, they won that previous game as well in their hands and also securing the series in their hands too. But the round difference wasn't as much as we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be a complete one-sided map. So, of course, these teams will have a chance to make it inside the top 3. But once again, the overall standings at least might be closed up a little bit. It should be a little close, but we'll be able to find that out after this short break.
Came for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my